All right. Well, let's get this show on the road. Welcome to our mini episode. We'll be releasing this one early for our Patreon subscribers, and then we'll release it to the rest of the public like a week later. Just so we get this out of the way, we're talking about Mandalorian, and it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler, and I will tell you, I don't know how many minutes it's going to be, but it's going to be the whole time, pretty much. So
the whole thing.
I mean,
the whole thing's.
Don't even bother with timestamps. It's the show.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the show yet, don't watch
Wait.
this. Don't watch this.
Come back later.
We'll still be here.
Yeah. But chances are you've probably seen it, especially if you're in the Patreon selection. Most of you have already seen it. I'm pretty darn sure. So now that we've gotten that,
that's a star assumption, right?
yeah.
That was bad. Sorry.
Oh boy.
I'll leave the bad puns to you, DJ.
No. I like to share the wealth, the limelight.
All right.
The starlight. Okay. So let's get started on this final episode of
season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2 finale.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Season 2 finale. And wow, this was something, and I don't even know what I watched. Like, I was just watching it going, what?
It's packed to the gills with action for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long the episode was, but
it's like 45 minutes, yeah?
40, yeah, something like that.
Oh, it felt like 10. Like, boom,
it
boom,
did feel
done.
fast. There was a lot shoehorned into one episode.
I was kind of worried that we were going to lose somebody.
I was too. I watched too much Game of Thrones, I guess.
I was like, somebody's going to get got.
I was like, it's going to be them. Ooh, it's going to be them.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then it weren't.
It weren't any of them.
Yeah.
Which I was happier with.
Yeah, I was a little worried, though. I was like, oh, man, something's not going to work out, and somebody's going to get caught alone, and those dark troopers are going to have their way. And
yeah, there's going to be an Ultron-esque explosionary death.
So how many of you, there's only 2 of you, which one of you maybe, when the dark troopers got ejected into space, were you like, that can't be the end of it?
Yeah, they're going to come back.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't think so.
They don't need to breathe.
Yeah, as soon as they were like flying back to the show, I was, oh man.
I'm like, this isn't Aliens. This isn't like Galaxy Quest. Just because you jettison them out the side, that they're just going to fly.
Yeah.
I mean, now they can show up anywhere. Like, they don't even have to go in the way they went in.
Crackhead Blue and I were like, man, wherever they land, that place is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True story. And then when they're like, oh, so many incoming
signatures or whatever and life
forms.
And
they're just like,
none.
how many life forms? Yeah. None. I'm just like, yup.
They're on their way back in.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it.
Storming the bridge, just watching, the 3 Mandalorians working together. Cara Dune laying down, just suppressing fire, and then her gun broke, and I was like, oh no,
like, it's gonna be Cara Dune.
And I'm like, dude, she's gonna shoot somebody by accident.
It's gonna like pow, shoot the ceiling, ricochet, somebody. Terrible.
Din's fight with the Dark Trooper, pretty brutal. Shades of Terminator.
Yeah. But also the sand viper and the mountain. I was like, hey, don't get too cocky with that spear.
Right?
Your head made the...
Dang, I didn't even think about that. Because he is the sand viper. Oh,
yeah.
Good call, Beth.
With his spear, kicking a pile of ass, and then just, trouble.
I'm glad he had it, but part of me was like, where did he pull that from?
Oh, yeah, from his butt.
Well, this isn't an RPG where you just store weapons on you.
Just
somewhere.
Like he has the backpack of holding.
Yeah, I was like, okay, but then when I saw him put it like back, I'm like,
yeah,
I'll have to watch.
I mean, he doesn't have his giant shotgun anymore.
Sure, so. I'll have to see if he has it back. Whatever. Continuity.
You didn't see the hand like grab it on the backside.
No, but I think Gene's guy might have been lurking in the back and handed it to him. So.
It might have been.
That's why Gene's guy was there all along.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
DJ,
Gene's guy.
What were your initial thoughts when? Ooh, I'm trying to think of a moment that turned it for me. I think when the Dark Troopers were activating, that's when I first started going, dude, he's not going to make it there in time.
Yeah,
I was a little freaking out. Like there are a few times where I am so into something that like, I mean, I could think of one, like when I was watching Godzilla with Matthew Broderick, I was just like, especially when there's this scene where he's chasing.
I love that that's a hallmark for like, attention for you.
It
is Godzilla 2000.
Oh, yeah, and the car is going backwards, and they're like, ah. So at that moment, I was doing the same thing, going, oh gosh, close.
Yeah, I felt like it was real bad when he goes, no. Running up to the door, and I was like, nah, I got this.
And I had a feeling like one or two were gonna get out.
Yeah.
So that they played right into that.
That was bad news.
Man, it was such a good episode. Like,
gotta be stoked that you're wearing Beskar at that point.
Oh, dude, and when he was just slamming his head, I'm just
like,
But that reminded me of the Terminator fight in T2.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they were fighting, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
The Esposito fight. Sorry, the Moff Gideon fight. I'm sorry.
I'm totally there with you though.
It was so like, I didn't expect him to be that well sword trained.
Oh, okay.
When he was facing off with Mando in the cell.
Why not?
I don't know. I just figured, he's an officer.
You just thought that he'd hang out at the chicken place? Selling some methies.
He was managing the chicken place on the second Death Star before it blew up.
The Death Star Cantina.
But yeah, that fight between the two of them with him and the Darksaber and then our man with the Beskar spear, that was pretty good. And the fact that the spear was like heating up and he was like, man, I can't leave it there forever. Man, it's great. Good tension in that one.
Pretty friggin' awesome.
And then, I mean, I'm dancing around the end of it because I want everybody to get their favorite moments in before we get there.
Right.
Well,
I know this harkens back to a past episode, but I still just wee little binders.
Yeah.
they're so cute and tiny.
And I think we justified it with like, we knew they were going to be tracking this guy down.
Yeah, that they knew they were coming to get him.
So they made some especially for him.
But what I'm just saying is that like, that shit's cute.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to restrain a super powerful, tiny, adorable being, you're going to need something, I guess, that's equally tiny and adorable.
And a bit of the dialogue where Moff Gideon said that he already got what he needed out of him. So that opens up a whole other story, right?
Well, that goes to wherever they're going with this. I still think it's Snoke. I still think that's how Snoke became a thing. Because, like, where the hell was he this whole forever? He's apparently a great, powerful dude, bro.
But remember, in Rise of Skywalker, we saw a vial of a bunch of failed Snokes in the Emperor's spot.
But in that episode where they were talking about originally taking Grogu's blood, they said that the first one died, and they were going to try a second one. But it would have the same effect.
But would they all the way out to the unknown reaches where the Emperor's hanging out and then bring it all the way back? Yeah, I don't know. You gotta put your
biohazard, bio waste somewhere. You don't want it just laying around. Someone's gonna be like, "What's this husk of dude with Jedi blood?"
Well, then they had a bunch of those test subjects in the couple episodes prior to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
I still think that's what it is.
It could be, or they're just trying. So. Again,
does this talk about your theory that you can't talk about?
A little bit, and I can't say it because I want you to read those books. And I mean, if they're pulling that from Expanded Universe, Legends, if they're pulling it from that, like, because they have been kind of cherry picking some things,
right?
Out of there,
taking stuff out.
I love that they're doing it. It didn't completely. Sure, they decanonized all of it as a whole, but now they're picking things out and going, okay, we can pick this out, change the name.
They can use what they want
with this, and then now it's canon again, and it's like, oh, it's so great. Thrawn was only in the novels, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, that's all legends now. But then they hired the guy who created him to bring him in, and they mentioned him in a show. He is now canon.
Yep,
Amazing.
he's a thing.
Yes.
A real live thing.
Plus, he's in Rebels, and that's all canon too. So
there you go.
Sorry, spoiler for Rebels, guys, if you haven't watched that. Yeah. And then the big moment. DJ, did you have any idea who it could have been?
Oh, I guessed it immediately.
Okay.
I was like, I bet that, because I was thinking about this time era or whatever
Sure.
that was taking place, and I was like, oh, is that the Jedi he called? So I had it. I was there.
Yeah, when they're having problems and shit's getting real, and then just an X-wing rolls up, I was just like, hello.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I initially was like, it could be a trick. Like, what if it's Ahsoka borrowing an X-wing to fly?
Yeah.
Somewhere? What if she decided to come back and when he reached out, it actually called her, and she's like, well, I guess I'm meant to be there.
Yeah.
So my first thought was like, okay, don't initially think it's him. But, what other Jedi is flying around in an X-wing right now?
With a green lightsaber.
Well, we didn't know that it was green yet. That's the thing. It was
Right.
like, I'm okay, now we need to get a look at him,
Yeah.
And
but they were so sneaky with his
so
hood.
They were really good.
So
I knew
good.
as soon as I saw the belt buckle, like, that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, and then
Harry
the
Skywalker.
gloved hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
A friend of
I'm
mine
like
said,
pointing out all these things to mom, and she's like, yeah, you're right. No,
yeah.
but look at this one.
A friend of mine said he spotted R2-D2 in the X-wing as it flew in, and I was like,
Oh,
dude,
good
I would have never noticed that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look at that again.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to one of these things.
But
Yeah.
that was. And if you notice, Luke used a couple dark techniques.
I did notice that.
The hold and crush.
Oh.
And
He tin canned it.
That ties into the stories that he, after the events of Return of the Jedi, he said, if I'm going to teach these guys, if I'm going to bring about a new Jedi Order, I need to fully understand all of it.
The duality.
So he studied the dark side for a bit.
But with bringing the balance to the
right
and all that jazz.
So and it was neat to see him use some of that technique. I was like, oh.
Well, he fully embraced the aesthetic of the dark side.
Yeah.
I myself would totally go Sith just because I wear so much black.
Well, I'm a fan of Luke's black outfit. Like, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
Jedi robes are cool, but his Return of the Jedi outfit is awesome. Especially when he gets beat up and it kind of flaps open. Yeah. But yeah, when they show that behind the shoulder shot and the green saber enters the frame, I was just like,
yeah.
He's here.
It's happening.
So excited. Did you?
And then I was sitting there going, who's going to play him? Who's going to play him? Who's going to play him?
So I seen some people say that took them out of it.
A little bit.
It didn't for me. It didn't
There
matter.
was very little actual facial expression.
I noticed that. It was kind of like looking at
Stoic
a
the whole
cardboard
time.
cutout for a little bit, but
well, I don't
got
think
over it real quick.
Closed a lot either when he was talking. It was like,
right.
I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, over it. Let's just watch.
Yeah. It could have been better, maybe,
awful.
but yeah, I mean, I think it was better than the Leia CGI.
I agree.
I think the best one we've seen so far is the Tarkin one, but even that was still like,
just because we all knew he was toast.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to see that as a real person.
There's only so much science one can take.
Right. But man, so good. And then I cried. I'll be honest, I cried the ending.
Well, the thing is, the show's called The Mandalorian.
I get it.
The Baby Yoda show.
Right.
And as much as we all flocked and to the absolutely adorableness that is Grogu, he's not what the show's about.
Right.
So I totally understand why they did that.
He was legitimately a mission in the Mandalorian's path, and now that mission has been completed.
But you
onto the
wanted
next
to
thing.
touch his face.
Yeah,
with
when he
his
wanted to
little,
like see his face and
his
touch, I was
little
like,
hands.
That was cute.
Yeah.
And then when they showed Din crying, I was just like,
Mhm.
dude, come on,
Come on, I'm gonna.
don't do this to me.
I'm not crying. You're crying. It's Dusty.
Yeah, that's allergies.
Yeah.
So there's a little. What did you DJ? What did you think about the Darksaber twist?
The Darksaber twist.
When he was like, "Here, take it," and she's like, "Oh, I can't."
Yeah, that was super twisty. And then also, so you're now, before you were like, I'm taking my helmet off, we're not traditionalists, and now you're going to be like, okay, I can't take it now. I'm like,
Well, there's a
So there's a little. Yeah,
there's a difference on that.
Yeah.
Because like the Mandalorians who don't take off their helmet, that's like a religious thing. That's like a sect, like a cult.
Zealots. They are zealots.
Yeah. And that's just the history of the Darksaber. Like, yeah, she could have taken it, but that's a big fat lie. That yeah, that's
there's a
thing. That's like in Jurassic Park. Where they stood on the shoulders of giants and they didn't pay for it.
Right.
Don't respect it.
So there's a little weirdness there because in Rebels, Sabine Wren has the Darksaber.
Oh my God, so many names.
She hands it to Bo-Katan and says, "This is yours. You deserve it. Like, you're the rightful person." And she takes it. They don't fight for it. So there's a little bit of like, hey, what happened? Why was it okay there, but it's not okay now?
Right.
So I'm wondering how they're gonna fix that.
Well, they didn't even address it after that. It was just like, take it. No, I can't. It's not my thing. I have to fight you for it. Ha 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 ha. I'm running away. Oh, guess what? Here come the Ultrons. And then it was just like, Skywalker.
Yeah.
It was over. You're just like,
we'll put
what happened to the end of the show?
Yeah, so that's cool. We got that conflict to deal with. We've got Cara Dune taking in Gideon, which will probably get messed up, and Gideon's guys will spring him.
I'm sure of it.
We'll have like a whole Cannonball Run episode where they're like Smokey and the Bandit style, breaking Gideon off the transport. Yeah.
Dom DeLuise.
Maybe Mayfield will show back up. And then so the Darksaber thing. I'm pretty sure we won't see Luke and Grogu anymore in The Mandalorian.
No.
Well, I mean, maybe in season 6.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really think we're gonna see Grogu again.
Okay.
Where'd them go, though?
They're gone. Beth. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. From a marketing standpoint, they'll probably bring him back sometime.
Well, I did read something. I don't know if it's confirmed, but it's rumored that they're already in development on a Luke Skywalker spinoff of this era.
Okay. So you'll see Grogu there.
If that's true.
But
it's not official. It was just like somebody mentioned this, and maybe it's in production. I don't know.
So here lies the rub for me. And that is Yoda is the boss. Everyone knows Yoda. Everyone respects Yoda. Nobody knows what Yoda is. He's just a Yoda.
Nobody knows his right species, where it comes from, any of that.
Nobody. Not
Yoda.
Yeah, not anybody apparently in the universe, apparently on this side of the universe, none of us know what or where he came from.
Right.
All of a sudden there's a new one. If he's alive, why don't we see him or at least hear about him? Like Luke Skywalker never once, even in the newer the sequel trilogy, wasn't even when he's Yoda, wasn't even like, oh hey, I met another one of you.
Right. Right.
Well, maybe.
I mean, not that necessarily came up in conversation.
So that kind of ties
setting the tree on fire, but
kind of ties into my theory of what I want to talk to you about, but I can't. Some people are already like online going, man, it sucks that Kylo killed him, because of how, everybody thinks that Kylo killed everybody at the academy.
That's what my mom said too, and I'm like, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you want to know more about that, read the Kylo comic, and since that's canon, you'll get a little more to that story of what actually happened at the Academy.
Yeah, but also still, like.
But that's so. My theory seems to be closer to maybe what they. I don't know. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it.
We'll talk about this later, Joseph.
Sure.
Now, I've never stayed on to a show after the credits. Like, it has always turned into a thing that like says go to the next show or next episode. But this time, the credits had a scene.
Correct.
Yep. Right at the end of them. Yep.
That wasn't that way for all the others, was it?
No.
If you notice, when you watch it and there's not a new episode to watch, it goes through all the credits. In the corner of your screen, it's like 100 years of credits, giving credit to people who do like the dubs in different languages and all that. So if there was a sting at the end of any of those, you would have seen it.
Okay. And we were watching it the way we normally do with our group of friends and synced up and all that. And so it was over and we were just chit-chatting with it while the credits are running. And then all of a sudden a scene pops up and we're like, what?
I think I may have been on Marco Polo talking to Blue. Popped up. So my Bubba, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
So, yeah. They don't always have a sting.
Yeah. So what did you think of that scene, DJ?
Well, I want more.
What kind of questions does that set up for you?
Sparkly.
Well, it sets up a ton of questions. Like, first of all, from what I've seen of him in the Star Wars, like the first trilogy.
You mean his original 12 minutes on screen?
Yeah, it was this much. It was tiny. And then we go into this season, and we're getting to know a little bit more about him. And so for me, I'm like, okay, well, technically or not technically, he's a Mandalore, or he's a Mandalorian.
Well, he's a Mandalorian.
He's a I love that Bo Katan called out all the things that I was talking about,
right?
With how they used to treat them, but then Boba explained it to Mando early on, like, no, my dad was actually a foundling.
Yeah.
And since I'm essentially him, it belongs to my father, belongs to me.
Right.
But the fact that Bo Katan, he's like, it belongs to my father, and she's like, you mean your donor? I've heard your voice 1,000 times.
1,000 times.
I was like, ooh,
yeah,
that's gotta hurt.
That was actually the sound that I made when she said that. I was like, no.
It was so good. It was so good.
And I didn't quite get
sick burn, Bo-Katan.
I didn't quite get that. Like, I was just like, what? And then talk about him being a clone and, huh?
Okay,
so in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, we go
movies.
In the movies. When Obi-Wan goes to Kamino, meets the
not
cloners.
Kamino in California.
Meets the cloners. Jango's there, and Jango,
and Wee Boba is there too.
Ton Wee is talking to Obi-Wan, telling him, "Yeah, we here's our subject, and the only thing he requested was one unaltered clone, meaning no aging process, for himself,
and also like no whatever they did to make them more docile, right?"
Well, yeah, they didn't have. Obviously, he didn't have that chip in him, so unaltered clone.
Okay.
So no aging process, no chip to turn Order 66 on everybody, and then, so when we go inside Jango's quarters, Boba Fett is there as like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Opens the door, talks to him, whatever. So we confirmed one theory was like, did Boba Fett put Jango's armor on? Is Slave 1 Jango's old ship? And it checks out that he just took Dad's stuff and wore it. Yeah. So when she said, I've heard your face, or I've heard your voice and seen your face 1,000 times, she was referring to the clone army.
To all the clones, the original
all the clones look like Jango Fett, as does Boba Fett.
Because they're all him.
So that's what she meant is like, you're nothing. You're just
You're
a
not a real
clone.
person.
You're not a real
just
person. Yeah.
clone.
Got it. Okay.
So
You're a
that's why she's
copy
like,
of
you're
a million copies.
You're a pretender. And then Gideon used the term pretender when talking about she can't take the Darksaber just to win in a combat, or else she'll be a pretender. So I'm like, dude, they must have heard these old nerds like me and somebody else like putting our thoughts into the ether, like, come on, man, address the fact that this, and then they kind of did.
Well, so I think part of that is also that the people making these these shows now are the nerds.
They know, yeah. I mean, Favreau's
true.
A huge fan,
and that's why these shows are so great.
Yeah.
Because it's made from a place of love.
Right.
Love of the source material.
So, I did read, and this is official, that Disney has said Mando is getting a season 3.
Yeah,
the Book of Boba Fett is just a spin-off, a mini-series spin-off. They're in production. Okay. They're 2 different shows.
Okay.
And so they're both starting in December.
Right. So we're gonna get both of those in December 21.
Yeah.
So soon.
Well, and that looks good. I mean, we get to learn more about Boba's thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're gonna go with, because I mean, I've read books about him, but I don't think they're gonna go with any of that stuff. So.
But isn't that like a mafia related, or not mafia, but like
essentially, yeah. So Jabba the Hutt worked. He was part of the Hutt crime family, right?
Yeah.
So
Bib Fortuna,
Bib Fortuna
bastard.
escaped the skiff that blew up in the desert in Return of the Jedi.
The pleasure barge.
There you go. He escaped on a skiff back to the palace, assumed control of Boba's empire, like dark network, right? So Boba was in control. Sorry, Jabba had control over all the like ungilded bounty hunters. Notice how Greef ran the gilded bounty hunters, guys with trackers and real official.
Yeah.
Jabba was the spice runners. You know, Han even worked for him. Han was making, there's like the very, very illegal side.
The bros who just roll up with thermal detonators.
Right.
Like,
so it sounds like Bib was like, well, power likes a vacuum, so I'm going to take this seat. And then he started getting all fat and happy.
He did. He was starting to Jabba up.
He was starting to Jabba out. Yeah, and then he got one put between the old peepers there. And now I think Boba's going to be like, well, I'm running the show now. So when people come to me, they come back here to do something, they're going to see me sitting here, and it's going to be like, all right, you work for me now. So him and what's her name? Fennec. She's going to be his sidekick, essentially, right? Because
she's going to be his Bib Fortuna.
She probably owes him a life debt because he brought her back.
Sounds right.
So that should be cool.
But I feel like there's going to be some good that comes out of it, because, I mean, they let the slaves go, or whoever they were chained up and stuff let go. So, I mean,
the little dancing girls.
Yeah.
The Twi'leks got set free. However, so I don't think we can count on him still being part of the team.
Yeah, no.
Because he's like, as long as the child is captured,
I'm
on your
side. He
side.
Said he was going to do
to help you get the child back. I helped you get the child back. I'm debt free, Jin. Like you're fair game now.
I helped you get the baby. It's not my fault you gave him away.
So our job's done.
Yeah.
And see you later.
I can't imagine him staying.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, because I really liked, the
scene where him and Din walked into the bar together, and it was like that kind of offset position, and it was like, oh man, I got so jazzed up. And then to see the other Mandalorian sitting on the other side of the canteen, I was like, oh. But I'm like, I go, where's the dude though? Where's Bo-Katan's homeboy? It was just her and the other girl.
Yeah.
He was feeding he was feeding the animals.
No, he was outside.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on the mission.
No, he wasn't. Not even.
So I wonder what happened.
Well, they went off. Last we saw them, they took the ship and left, right? So I didn't see that ship again. So he must have been doing something.
Maybe he was handling that.
He had other stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean.
He had errands to run.
Yeah. He was Christmas shopping.
Mandalorians to run?
Mandalorians.
I don't know.
How many words we can splice with Mandalorian?
Yeah. But yeah, seeing Luke was awesome.
Yeah.
Watching R2 come around the corner and that like totally swayed Grogu's like, oh, cool, you have a big old. I'm going with you guys.
Yeah.
That seemed to sway him. Like, oh, okay.
And he's like, it's okay, you can go. And Grogu's like, but Dad. And then he's like,
what's that?
It's shiny and it squeaks. I'm going.
Yeah.
And I felt like R2 was like, man, last time I was around a guy that looked like this, I was getting pelted with a stick in the face.
No,
Yeah. Mine. Poor R2. You're all right, buddy. You're all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great episode. Great season. Man,
Yeah.
great show. All around.
why is it so short?
I know.
Like, what do
I
we
think that's good, though. It prevents burnout.
True that.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Walking Dead stuck to eight episode seasons. I think it'd still be great.
We would be so far back in the storyline.
I think it'd be great,
Yeah.
though.
That's a good point. I did get burned out on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and everybody else. Even the zombies got burned out on it.
They're like, ugh.
Are we chasing these guys still?
Have we fallen apart yet? 'Cause, I got caught on a nail and now my arm's off.
DJ, any Star Wars related questions from this episode that you need answered? Any theories that you might want to explore?
I don't think I have any theories. Like I'm focused now on like the Book of Boba at this point. Like I'm like, what's
That's your
gonna
next
happen there?
progression step.
Pretty much. And if Mandalorian's coming out, what's his next mission? Like,
Well, it sounds like they need to go back to Mandalore and figure some things out.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even
Needs to
though
do
even
steps.
Boba was like, Mandalore's, why would you want to go back to that place? Is wrecked. Like, even he said
Yeah.
it.
That's how I feel about Tatooine, but everybody just keeps going back there.
How can you not? I'd go there right now.
No, it's so sandy.
I don't mind sand though.
I don't. It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
You could live.
No.
I just.
Yeah.
That's how you can beat Vader though. Just throw sand at him. It's over.
Well, imagine like sand in all his gears and shit.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. Even in space,
Yeah.
they talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got sand in my gears. I know you don't like space.
It's fine. I can't wait for the next season.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm also ready for the next
Can't wait.
season.
For Obi-Wan or all these shows that are coming. Oh.
Yeah, they're all just sitting there off just beyond those mountains.
Yeah. But
waiting.
it's a year away. It's like a whole year away. So
Well, if we have another year like we did this year, geez.
Yeah.
Please don't say that.
Oh, no.
No.
But yeah, great. So
yeah,
happy.
I enjoyed it.
Good times.
So there you have it. That's our take on Star Wars. No.
Spoiler free.
The Mandalorian
Yes, The Mandalorian.
season 2 finale.
Yes. There we go. So don't worry. You'll get to hear us again soon. I promise.
We'll be back in January.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
January.
That
Yep.
sounds good.
And then a month later, it'll be our, 2-year anniversary?
snap.
God, is it 3
Sure,
years
yeah.
already?
Wait, 3 years?
Yeah, it'd be 3.
1? Wow. Crazy. All right. Yeah, 3 years. Wow, cool.
Must be time for a new logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
Sorry, Checho.
Bye.